And when your brand can do that for your audience, you build a loyal following and you build a pool of warm leads who are going to hire you or work with you or buy from you when the time is right.
Wagwan, beautiful people, Shibivia here, and welcome back to another episode of the Legally Clueless Entrepreneurs Podcast, where I share a lifestyle, side hustle, and business gems that can help you improve the quality of your life and business. Now, today I am super excited to introduce and interview an amazing guest. Her name is Emma from 95 Media, whom she is the CEO and founder of. She is an expert in the digital marketing space. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted her to come on the podcast, because I feel like in today's day and age, digital marketing is so important and such a crucial aspect of businesses.
Hi.
Hey, Emma. Welcome to the episode. It's so good to have
How are you? Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Honestly, I know we tried to reschedule, but I'm glad we all made it and we can chat today.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I'm super excited.
Me too.
Yeah, so I've had the pleasure of introducing you already, Emma, but to truly get to know you and talking to my audience, to truly get to know her, I believe it's best for Emma to introduce herself directly. Emma, would you mind taking a moment to introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, my pleasure. So my name is Emma Tessler. I am the founder of 95 Media. We are a digital marketing agency really working with small businesses and brands who are looking to scale. Our mission really goes back to utilizing social media as the tool to get your brand off the ground and start seeing results, because the truth is so many businesses are posting all the time and people are creating content every single day, and it's not really going anywhere and it's not yielding the results you're looking for. And so everything that we do really goes back to this mission of supporting small businesses in growing through the impact of content, because there is so much opportunity out there for all of us. Everyone really deserves the chance to see those results from their content and see an ROI at the end of the day so that their business can grow as well.
That is so good. And I can attest to the struggle myself. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, digital marketing, social media overall can be a bit daunting, especially if you don't have that expertise, right? And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on the podcast to just, share your expertise and your background of what you do and how you can help businesses. Now, before we really dive into the episode, I think I read somewhere where you started in interior design, right?
I
Okay.
did.
And so
Yes.
that is a creative field, right? That thrives on, physical spaces. Now, what drew you to the digital landscape of marketing, which is so different? Were there any transferable skills that surprised you that came in handy as well? I want to know a little bit more about your background, how you transitioned as well.
Yeah. So my background is interior design. I have a degree in design.
Oh, wow.
I by no means meant to land into marketing. That was not the path I thought I would be on. But honestly, I was exposed to the social media marketing space in 2015 when a lot of brands just weren't taking it seriously. And most of us were still posting sunset photos and, just tie-dye shorts that we're making. And it was a wild world on social media in 2015. No, it wasn't a serious place. But I was asked to kind of begin exploring it for a brand that I was working for at that time. And I got on there, I started kind of digging around, and I said to myself, I don't understand how more brands are not seeing the opportunity that's here right now. And it just was really exciting to see what was available and what could come of it, which now has come of it, which is really, really insane to watch the past 9 years of social media marketing and just how much has happened, because it is, of course, a very different landscape today. The it's funny because it is so different than interior design. But I think the biggest skill that really transferred between the two industries for me was that as a designer, your job is to come into someone's home or their office or, a shop and understand their brand so deeply so that you can build a physical environment that represents them or the business. So you really are being a chameleon to them, and you're trying to understand their psyche and what do they actually like versus what they're telling you that they like, because no one really communicates it properly. And it's funny because that's exactly what we do in marketing. And when we at 95 Media, when our team comes into, a new client's business and we say, okay, tell us about your goals, tell us about your brand voice, tell us about your ideal client. Those are the elements that are then setting the stage for the content we're going to create, that where we have to really become that chameleon again to their brand, put ourselves in their ideal client's shoes, and know what to create, what to say, what to design that's really going to connect with them. So it's so interesting that is really like a very core skill that has transferred so concisely across the two industries.
Wow. And I didn't look at it that way. Not, but how you broke it down made so much sense, how those skills basically, came in handy. And you said you were doing interior design in 2015, correct?
Yes, I was actually interning. I was in college in 2015 and I did design until 2020. And then I left corporate just like mid pandemic, like any crazy person would, to really go all in and build 95 Media.
95. And I'm having 95 Media. The name itself is so catchy, right? And I've been thinking to myself, like, the first time I heard the name, I was like, I wonder why she chose that name, right? It's such a catchy name. But beyond the number itself, is there like a story or a message you wanted to, convey through the name? Like, does it tie
You
into the
know,
company's philosophy or like your target audience? Tell us about that.
I wish it was that deep, honestly. When I first started, I had a different business name and it really just like didn't make sense. And so we went through a rebrand in 2020 or 2019, and I was working with a branding specialist and she was like, all right, great. Like, we love everything. What do you want to rename the company? And I was like, blank face. Like, I have no idea. It's so hard to name things. And so kind of went through a few different iterations, but we landed on 95 Media because I knew I wanted media like in the name because it's what we do. And 95, I was born in 1995, and that's how we landed on that number. So not super deep by any means.
So you said you were born in 1990. Okay,
yes,
so that's
yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering if it had anything to do with like 925, like a story behind your 925.
Yeah, I've gotten that question. Yeah. Some people think it's that as well, but no, it's just 95. And I don't know. I was like, it's a little piece of me without it being my name. And that was something that was really important to me too. Like, I didn't want my name in the company title, because it's so much more than just me. And I hope it outgrows me at some point, as most of us hope our businesses grow beyond just us and the impact that we can make ourselves.
Yeah, that is the goal. It's funny how you said that, because it's like, it's so important. Like, these days when we're building businesses, the goal is to build it so that, like you said, it outlasts us, and, build it in such a way that, it can be passed on, right? Well, one thing I wanted to get into is the digital imperative, right? So many business owners understand the importance of digital marketing, but struggle to see the return on the investment, right? Can you share some concrete examples of how 95 Media has helped their clients achieve like measurable results?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would say that the majority of brands that are posting on social are not actually seeing that return. So if you're listening and you're like, that's me, you're not alone. And people get really down on it because it feels like it should be so easy. And people oftentimes make it seem like it's so easy, but there really is a lot that goes into it. Just posting used to work back in 2017, 2018. Like, you posted, you saw results. That's not it anymore. There's so many accounts and so many consumers and so many just options on the marketplace at this point. For us, what we're really looking for in terms of an ROI is ultimately conversions in sales from your marketing. But I really like to drive home the fact that your marketing and your sales are very different.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the same. And oftentimes people like to lump them together, but your marketing is like the content you're creating, the way you're speaking to your audience, the whole idea and intent behind your marketing is that you're bringing people into the top of your funnel. So you're bringing in new brand awareness. You're bringing new people into your account. They're visiting your profile. They're consuming your content. They're just absorbing that message that you have. Once they then kind of enter that next stage of your funnel, which for some people may be booking a sales call with you or getting to a checkout page for a product or signing up for a freebie. There's a lot of different ways we can approach our funnel. That then turns into a sales process. And so something that people don't always recognize is that it's not always like your sales number is not always the direct correlation of is your marketing working or not, because a reflection of your marketing working is your brand reach on Instagram increased 250% in the last 30 days. Like, that's amazing. That is so much success right there. And we all are usually striving for these really fast results. We want a quick return. We want to see numbers quickly. But the truth is that organic social media marketing, especially when you're not running any paid ads, it's a long game and your results are going to take some time to happen. So if you're beginning to see those numbers where your brand reach is going up, your interactions are going up, your engagement is increasing, this is all telling us that your marketing is successful. Now, that's really like your top of funnel numbers. And so once you start to see increases in those categories, what you want to start driving then are DMs asking you about your service or your product. You want to be driving more website clicks or your external taps, and really driving people to the landing page or the website page or the checkout page. And then once they get there, it's really important to note if you're not seeing conversions from that point, it's typically then a sales problem, right? So maybe the description of your product isn't correlated with the way that you're showcasing it on social, or the photos on social are great, but then maybe the ones on your website are a little outdated, or they're really excited to get on a sales call with you about a service, but then the way that you're talking about the service isn't connecting with them on the sales call. So when we start to see a drop off from social to a sale, we want to start looking at the sales side, and then that could be a sales issue. So that's kind of a long-winded way to say there's a lot of different ways to measure success when it comes to your social media marketing. However, when we work with brands, we're always tracking all of that, and all of those numbers are important. And so typically for our clients, within the first 30 days, their top of funnel numbers are increasing like crazy. Typically like 100 to 500% increase in, reach, engagements, interactions. We want to start to see like those big numbers where we're increasing reach and awareness for them so that we can start getting new eyes down the funnel. And then we're starting to focus on conversions a few months after that.
Okay, so not only do you focus on the actual digital marketing aspect of things, but you guys are really zoning in on the numbers and looking at the conversion itself as well and seeing if there's an issue there.
Very heavily.
That's
Yes.
cool, because when I think of a digital marketing agency, I'll be honest, I was a little bit naive in regards to what or ignorant as to exactly what goes into it, right? So my idea of it was that you just kind of go in and you help with like automating like post, and pretty much that's it. You just kind of like market and that's it. But I didn't realize that it went that deep with analyzing the actual numbers and the sales funnels and all of that. which makes
Well,
it
don't get me wrong. There are plenty of freelancers and agencies who are only doing what you're talking
okay.
about. For us, it's really important that we approach it holistically because
Mm-hmm.
we often kind of come in as like a CMO almost, right? Like
Right.
we really lead the marketing for the small businesses that we
Yeah.
work with. And it's important that we become, a member of their team and their success is what matters to us. And so it's important that we are looking at that data consistently. We send our clients weekly analytics reports because that data is so important to be looking at
Mm-hmm.
and adjusting accordingly. So definitely want to, everyone goes into a new industry that they're unfamiliar with, a little naive. I've been there
Mm-hmm.
myself. And, as you learn more, you kind of know what you are looking for. And so hopefully this conversation can help everyone listening just kind of say, all right, got it. Like these are the things we want to be checking the boxes for when hiring someone for this.
Absolutely. And I think it will, because you explained it so well. That's amazing. Okay, so
Good.
you talked. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. Yeah, I like that you said that you guys look at it as at a holistic way, which I'm all about that. So I guess that's what makes your
Yeah,
company stands out in the digital marketing space. That's awesome. So,
for
okay,
sure.
so you mentioned something about automation and going to funnels and all of that. Now, automation is key, right? You would say, like in today's digital marketing landscape. Can you share some of your favorite tools, maybe, or platforms that 95 Media uses to streamline workflows and free up time for a more strategic task?
Definitely.
Because that's key. Because I feel like
Yeah, I
we
think
up. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you, but I feel like in business we think we have to do everything ourselves, and we're the best at it. Like nobody else can be better at it, right? Well, not only that, but we feel like we have to manually do everything. Like, for example, if somebody makes a purchase, let's say it's a digital product, uh, you really shouldn't have to be manually sending anything. Hopefully, nobody's doing that right now, right? But talk to us a little bit about automation and how you guys use that in your business.
100% with you. The least you need to do manually, the better. There are just so many tools out there that are meant to automate. And there are some automations where you want, or not even automations, but like technology that you want to double check. For example, if you use ChatGPT, you need to read through that.
Mhm.
You need to put your human touch
Yeah.
on it. But on the contrary, there's a lot of automations that you can do as your human self as the setup piece, and then it's one and done. One of my mentors said, if you're doing something more than 10 times, it needs to be
Mhm.
automated. Like it needs to not be on your plate
Yeah.
anymore because it's a copy and paste situation. So I really live by that. And like, even if I'm sending the same email pretty often or reiterating myself several times, we even automated our onboarding process for new hires at my company because I was like, I'm
Hmm.
saying the same thing over and over again. I do not need to be doing this. I'm going to record it one time. They're going to go watch the video and then come back to me with questions.
Mm.
So there's a lot of tools that we use for automation. So Kajabi is one of the platforms that we use. Kajabi hosts our email list. It also hosts any courses that we have. We used to have a handful of courses. We have a free course now called Master Your Marketing. You can join it on our website if you'd
Okay.
like.
And can you share
But
that website?
it
I'll make sure to
yeah,
have like all your links in the show notes as well, but feel free to share that. Hmm.
100%. Yeah, so our website is 95media.co. And if you just scroll to the bottom, you can hop into that free course. It's really great. There's a ton in there, but that whole course is completely automated. And there are a lot of emails that go out to our students. There's automations in terms of like some of the courses are locked until you take a little quiz. And I set that all up and I'm done. I'm out of it. It works on its own. We love that. And we actually have like an internal course that our team goes through as well, which is part of where like our onboarding lives. And so
Hmm.
there's video tutorials in there, there's documents attached and templates and all of that really great stuff in there. But I would say that one tool that is really, really needed for every business is to schedule out your content. If you're
Hmm.
putting all of this effort into creating your content, you don't need to be the one to manually post it.
Hmm.
It can go up the majority of the time. Now, I say that with a caveat because I'm not a fan of auto posting any video content.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to make sure that like the audio file is attached
Mm.
appropriately, that your cover looks right. And so there's like little pieces like that. So a few times a week, like we'll manually post some video. But for the most part, like photo, carousel posts, like these can all
Mm-hmm.
be automated. And then you get to have more time to go into your account and engage with your audience and get in front of new people. And that's really where your time needs to be. Another automation with social media that everyone is really loving right now is ManyChat. So if you're unfamiliar with ManyChat, this is the kind of, if you've seen influencers post and say, comment below outfit, I'll send you all of the links to shop my outfit. And then it will automatically DM you a link, usually to like their LTK, where they have all of their clothing items linked there and you can shop it. So basically on ManyChat, you create these mini funnels and you utilize a trigger word. And so if someone comments this one word or replies to a story this one word, then they are automatically sent this DM with information. And it's so great because it reduces the friction time in between someone asking you a question on your post to you having a free moment to go into your DMs, find the link, send them the link, etc. And it makes sure that, as long as you're setting those up as affiliate links, then you're bringing in more affiliate commissions, etc. So that is a really, really great automation that everyone is really into these days.
OMG. Okay, so you basically told the secret because I've been trying to figure out all this time. Okay, what I thought was that, there are like social media managers, right? And it could also be that people have social media managers that are like DMing or responding to everybody. But I did not realize, Emma, that there was such a thing called ManyChat.
Yep. It's a game changer for sure,
OMG.
especially for, like larger accounts when
Mm-hmm.
you get to like a few 100,000
Yeah,
followers, 1 million followers, like even if you have 3 people in your DMs, you're never going to get back to
right.
everyone. So it really expedites that process and makes sure that people are getting the information that they need, which drives more income for you and everyone's happy. It's a
That's
win-win.
amazing. I'm a forever learner. I love learning about all the new things and anything that can make my life easier. So now I'm probably going to look forward
Totally.
to making a post in the near future, saying something like a call to action like that, hey,
Yep.
respond here and I'll send you this. That's so cool. You're a
Totally.
genius, Emma. That's awesome. Okay. So effective automation, goes beyond just like the tools. Can you elaborate on how I know you've shared some things earlier. You did share a couple things that you have used in your business, but feel free to share anything else that you didn't mention, but how you've built a system with 95 Media that leverages automation to free up your team's time and ensure consistent results for your clients. I know you mentioned the onboarding process, which is super cool. I like that idea as well.
Yeah. So I am a big systems and processes
Mhm.
person. We have a team of 7 right now,
Okay.
and we've had a team as big as 11 at one
Mm.
point. And that's not large in the grand scheme of things, but when it's a small business, I am the founder, I'm very involved in the day to day. It's too much for one person to be having their hands in every little element of the system if it's not extremely organized, if not everyone is following everything, and that some of it is automated, and there are just like systems to go through to ensure all the boxes are checked for everyone.
Mhm.
So one of my favorite processes, which I guess you wouldn't say it's necessarily automated, but it is so systematized that it saves a lot of time as compared to how we used to do it, is our content planning and review process
Mm.
internally. So we use ClickUp, which is a project management tool very similar to Trello or Asana. And we use it a little bit differently than how it's meant to be used, I would say. We actually use it to build out content calendars for every brand that we are supporting in our social media management services. So essentially, every client is assigned an account manager. So a dedicated account manager is going to go in and be planning all of that content, planning, creating, executing, posting all of that
Okay.
content. So quality check and quality review is really important to us because we're all human and we all make mistakes. We forget a word here, we repeat ourselves here, the audio didn't attach here. Like, it's just good practice to have someone be reviewing everyone's work. And so in our current process, I review, all of the content before it goes out the door, which is quite a lot of content, but it's all very streamlined because of the process that we have in place. So once the content is created, there's a status that's changed that triggers it to be sent to me for my review. I go in, I take a look at it. I then tag the account manager and change the status. They're then going ahead and scheduling it into later and notifying the client that it's ready for the review. And this is a process that we do every single week for every single brand that we work with. So it's super important that this is streamlined. And it's one of those things where, again, if you're doing something more than 10 times, it needs to be automated. And we've really gotten to a point where it is as streamlined as humanly possible. But even still, I am constantly going into our processes. And I think this is something that's important for every founder to go in and critique and audit what is going on. Are there small things that we could do to improve what is already working and make it 1% better? That's how you continue to scale a brand and, get more profitable, bring in more business, more revenue, fewer team members. That's how we continue to grow, is by auditing what we already do well and just continuing to make it better, in my opinion.
That's awesome. I love this. I love how you're really digging deep and helping us truly understand like your process. And so for anyone out there who is considering digital marketing or getting a digital marketing agency right on their team, this is good because it really breaks down the effectiveness of it and how the entire process really works. And I'll be honest, I'm strongly considering, I've been thinking about it for a while, but with how you guys focus on the holistic aspect of things, because I'm the type of person who I don't like to just hire out just to hire out, just to, do stuff. I like to have people on my team who are really engaged in the entire process. So I love that. Awesome. Okay. So they say, there's a saying, content is king, right? So in the ever evolving, world of digital marketing, high quality content remains crucial, right? Can you share your approach to content creation at your company? And, what types of content would you say is the most effective, right, for engaging audiences and driving business growth?
The answer to that definitely changes between each platform. And I think that's something that needs to be highlighted, because no longer does it work to just copy and paste between each platform. You're really not going to see the results that you're looking for, because your audience is different on every platform. To the point where the way that we engage with content looks very different between TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn, right? If you just use those, the way that you talk, the way that you comment or share content, it looks extremely different between the three. And so your strategy can't be the same, because the same types of content is not going to perform in the same way across the board. But with that said, video is going to be where it's at, right? And that's not the answer anyone wants to hear. Everyone hates me when I say that, because no one likes recording video, but it really, really is the game changer, especially if you've kind of plateaued in your content results. With that, I will say that on Instagram, the way that we approach a content lineup is that we're typically doing about 50% of your feed content as video. So if you're posting 5 times a week, for example, 2 to 3 of those posts would be a reel. And then the other 2 to 3 would be a static photo, so a single photo, or a carousel with multiple photos and videos mixed in together. The reason for that is that you want to be using all of the elements that the platform is providing you. It's going to reward people and accounts who are doing all of the things it lets you do, because it's showing that you're engaged, you're on top of your stuff, and it's going to help push that content out to your audience more.
Mm-hmm.
On TikTok, of course, it's all video, and on LinkedIn, it can be a little bit of mix of both. And those are kind of like the big ones for most people right now. But I would really go deeper as well and say that when you're considering the type of content to create, just posting a video to post a video isn't enough. We need to really think about how are we building connection and community with our audience, because that is truly, truly, truly what we are all craving on social media these days. We go online, we think that we just want to scroll, but we're actually looking to see ourselves in others and to feel a part of something bigger than ourselves. And when your brand can do that for your audience, you build a loyal following, and you build a pool of warm leads who are going to hire you or work with you or buy from you when the time is right. Again, going back to what we said in the beginning, organic social is a long game. Those results take time. So you can't expect it to be a fast conversion all of the time. Of course, you're going to see that sometimes, but not all the time. And that's perfectly okay and normal. You really, really want to focus on how can I get in the mindset of my ideal client, speak their language, and really showcase how what I do or what I sell can help them solve the pain point that they have.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you're right. Building a loyal brand is essential for long-term success. So how would you say that your company how would you say that you use it to foster community engagement and build like a strong brand identity for your clients? Or some strategies, I should say, some strategies that your company uses to foster community engagement.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a strong brand really goes back to infusing your brand voice in everything that you do. What sets you apart and what makes you different is what you really want to push into in your brand messaging. You want to highlight the things that are weird about you, the quirkiness about your brand, the things that you do differently, because that is really what's going to make someone want to work with you rather than the next person that they talk to who does exactly what you do. So really highlight the things that maybe you feel a little insecure about, or you're not really sure if it connects with your audience, because it's going to connect with the right audience. One of the biggest things that we integrate as a strategy for the brands that we work with is using the 3 brand pillars that really work across the board. So content pillars, I should say, not brand pillars. Content pillars basically set the stage for you to know how to approach your content on different days of the week. So if you have 3 content pillars, you could say, okay, great. So I'm posting 5 times a week. I'm going to basically rotate through these 3 content pillars twice a week. What these pillars are kind of overarching themes of each of the posts that you're going to create. The 3 content pillars I recommend for every single brand across the board are education, validation, and vulnerability. So to kind of break those down, everyone's pretty clear on education. Most of us, though, get stuck in education. And a lot of our content is too much education, because educational content is very top of funnel. It shows someone you know what you're talking about, you solve the problem, you can teach them how to solve it for themselves, maybe even too much where they don't actually need to hire you. So it's important, but we don't want to only be posting educational content. The validating content is recognizing the journey of your target audience and validating for them that they're not alone, but also positioning what it is that you sell as the solution to their experience that they're going through. So, for example, if it's like a supplement for hormone balancing for like moms, right? Like, after you have a baby, your body is all sorts of messed up, and your hormones are one element that a lot of moms struggle to get back into play, especially as you're, going through different phases of life after you've just given birth. So maybe it's a supplement. And so the educational content would be, hey, here's what we do. Did you know that X% of women deal with hormone imbalances after birth, and it usually takes this long to solve it, but here our supplement can do it in this long. So that's more like educational. Validating might be saying, hey, my name's Emma. I'm the founder of this company. And after I gave birth, my hormones were so out of whack. And I started talking to my friends about it, and it turned out all of my girlfriends were going through the same thing. And so I spent time developing this product, and it solved this issue for us. Here's how it works. That's validating, right? That's saying, like, this is something I've gone through. I know you're going through it. Here's the solution. And then the last one is vulnerable. And sometimes people get scared when I say vulnerable because it sounds like I'm asking you to like cry on camera and like tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. And I'm not. We all decide that boundary that we draw on social, and continue to decide that boundary for yourself. But vulnerable content is really just pulling back the curtain as much as you're comfortable with and sharing your experiences. It's very much rooted in storytelling, similar to validating content, but it kind of takes it one step further. You know, maybe a vulnerable post might be saying, similar to the validating example I gave, like, hey, I'm the founder of this company and I created this product because I experienced this. Maybe you take it one step farther and you say, because my hormones were so unbalanced, I wasn't able to run around the park with my son in the way that I wanted to. And that was really messing with my mental health because I felt like I couldn't experience my child's like childhood with them. And it was something I really struggled with. And when you get a little deeper, right? Like that's not even super deep. That's just telling a deeper story. You then build really deep connection with your audience, because there are going to be other women who have that exact same experience. Maybe they don't even realize it's because of their hormones that they're having that experience. But then by communicating and connecting on that story, you can share and say, well, but I solved it. Now I can run around the park with my son and it's so great and yada, yada. So those are the 3 content pillars with very detailed examples of how you can kind of apply that strategy and take your content to the next level, because it's so much more than just posting. You really want to make sure that you're connecting on different elements of what it is that you sell so that you're bringing in that audience who really wants to buy from you.
That's awesome. So 3 main content pillars, educating, sharing vulnerability, and what was the other one? I just had it.
And validating their
And
experience.
validating, right? That's amazing. And you know what? I do find that for some social platforms that I follow, I find that the ones that are the most vulnerable and they just share like their like personal experiences and all of that, I find that they have a lot of success with like building a loyal community. So that is so good.
Absolutely. That's really what we're all looking for. And when you look at, you know, the influencers who have been around and been successful for 10 years, more like the OG influencers, you know a lot about their lives. Like you feel very integrated into their day to day. And there is so much that we have no idea that's going on because they choose what they share with us. But their success is rooted in being vulnerable and being real. And you having seen them over the past decade that they've been an influencer, so much so that you feel so involved and dedicated to their lives and what they do that you're like, of course I'm not going to unfollow them. I need to know what's going on next. And that is really the key to successful social marketing.
That is good. And you know, I once had, I don't know if you know Airtable. You probably know about Airtable. And I downloaded this, what do you call it? It's like a template. And I was trying to follow it, different types of content to share, like whether it's going to be a story, a post, you know, reels, all of that. If it's going to be educational, but I just have not. I kind of fell off. So with you sharing all of this kind of like inspires me now to go back, look at it, tweak some stuff, and actually start executing more. Because that's one of the things that I've struggled with, to be honest, especially in the past, like maybe a few months or so, is posting consistently. So I'm happy that you shared all of that. That's good.
No, I'm so happy to hear that. And that really is a struggle for so many people, is that consistency factor. You know, like a lot of people sales are low. And so you have the time for marketing. And so your marketing blows up and it's doing really great. And then that results in more sales. And so then your marketing stops and you have sales, and then those sales go down, and then you have to start your marketing again. And it's all of these dips and valleys.
Yeah.
So many people go on. And when you can work with someone or integrate a strategy on your own that just allows you to have that consistency, you really it changes everything, because you'll have that consistent stream of leads. You'll have that consistent stream of exposure and brand awareness that you're not going to get if you get these peaks and valleys, but it's very normal to do that or experience that if you're the only one managing it and you don't really have that much direction when it comes to your marketing.
Yeah, that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, right? The ebbs and flows.
Yeah, of course, every day.
Yeah, every day. Awesome. So, as a successful entrepreneur and business owner, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who are just starting out in the digital marketing space? Are there any resources or tools you'd particularly recommend?
I think the biggest one is your mindset. And that might sound cheesy, but like mindset really is everything when it comes to marketing, because it's not a quick fix and you're not going to see results on day 2. And so it's really understanding the longevity that you're ultimately committing to as an entrepreneur, as someone who is marketing a product or service. You really have to look at it beyond the next 30 days. You have to look at it as something that you're in it for the next few years. And that is great, because it will never stay boring, because it changes so much. And, it'll keep you on your feet. But in terms of resources, honestly, our mini course, Master Your Marketing, is a great place to start. There's so much information in there. But with that said, there are a million people that teach on social media marketing. We used to have a course, and I don't do that anymore just because we really believe in our done for you service. But I would look at, taking some low ticket courses, getting your feet wet in what it looks like to not only understand content, but also understand your analytics, because that's where a lot of people fall off. You create all this content, but you don't check the analytics, so you don't know what's working. And so you continue to create content that doesn't convert, and you get stuck. So make sure you work on understanding your analytics. And if you're able to, like, you have the extra funds, I would book some time with someone who can support you with strategy, maybe a one-off call, maybe someone who creates a content calendar. We do both of those things. We can create a content calendar for someone who isn't ready to fully outsource. We do a strategy intensive call, both of which are low ticket offers and very accessible for someone in those early stages, because I've been there myself. You don't have thousands of dollars to invest when you're just starting, but you need those results. And so there are absolutely low ticket ways to get support. I would just caution against working with someone who promises the world at a very small ticket, because you may not see the results that you're hoping for if you're investing $200 a month and thinking that someone is going to be able to build you content that's going to yield you 10. So be aware and just go in with proper expectations into different agreements, and do your research. I think this episode is a great one to kind of come back to and understand what to look for, what to know going into relationships like this. I'm always available to like answer any questions. But yeah, I think there's just so much out there. When I was starting in 2015, I couldn't even find a course on how to be a social media manager. Like, it just didn't exist. And now, there's 8 million out there. And so there's a lot of resources to tap into.
That's good. Yeah, it's interesting how, as time goes by, things just continue to evolve. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine 3 years from now, what would you like to, or how would you like 95 Media to impact the entrepreneurial landscape? Like, how do you envision 95 Media empowering businesses and shaping the future of digital marketing?
I love that question. Yeah. 3 years from now, our goal is that we continue to add to our client list so that we're working with more brands and making a larger impact. We, of course, want to grow our team and just continue to improve all that we do, continue learning, continue getting in front of new people so that we can support them in free capacities and, with our services, etc. Our podcast is something I'm so passionate about as well. It's one of our really great free resources, as yours is too. It's just podcasting is so impactful. And, just to be able to provide so much great information in episodes like this is something I'm really passionate about. But ultimately, our goal is that we are able to work with more brands, continue to innovate as new platforms come out and new content formats evolve, which I'm sure they will, and to stay at the forefront of the industry to, as you said, make a really big impact on other businesses.
I love that.
Ultimate bottom line.
I love that. Love, love, love. Awesome. Okay. So before I ask my final question, I believe this should be my final question. You said something about platforms, and earlier I think I missed it and I did not ask, like, what platforms do you currently support your audience, your clients on?
We support clients on every single platform. We're crazy like that. So we do work on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, email, blog, podcast.
Oh, wow.
And then there's some niche platforms for like different industries as well. But those, all of the above we do.
That's amazing. Awesome. Okay. All right. So what would you say is your superpower that has brought you to this point of running a successful business?
That's such a good question. I would say my adaptability in business. This industry, my personal belief is that there's no industry that moves faster than social media marketing in today's world. It is a new game every single day. And if you stay stuck and stubborn in what you're doing for even a month, you're behind. And so much of my job as the founder and as the CEO is constantly looking at what else can we do and how can we do what we're already doing better, as I mentioned earlier today. So I am always adapting. We're always looking at what new software can we be using? How better can we support our team? What new systems can we integrate to support our clients better? What new templates can we create because, we haven't updated them in a few months for a client? That adaptability in the way that we serve is everything. And keeping that eye on the prize of, at the end of the day, everything we do is serving. And I really believe in that, is serving our clients. And I serve our team every single day. And so being adaptable in the way that that's executed, I think has really led to our success. And there's been so much that's happened in business over the past few years since 2020. We've all experienced the highs and lows. And I feel like we're kind of like coming out of the other side now of, we saw that huge boom in business in 2020. So many new businesses came about, and we've kind of seen that drop off over the past few years where it wasn't what people thought it would be, or it was just too much. It was too difficult. And I've been at entrepreneurship since 2015, really. And it's been a long ride over here. And being adaptable is definitely a skill I believe every entrepreneur needs to have and really hone in on.
That is so true and so good, because the same skills or same mentality you had, 2015, you kind of have to pivot a bit. So that is so good. Beyond. Awesome, Emma. So there you have it, beautiful people. Emma Tesler, she dropped a lot of gems today, which I'm so grateful, and I'm sure that you guys are as well. And again, like she said earlier, if you're thinking about getting into the digital marketing space, come back to this episode, rewind, listen to it. Emma, thank you so much for making it on the podcast, and thank you for dropping all the gems that you did. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Awesome. And before we go, please share all of your handles. Feel free to share your personal and the business handles, sites, and I'll also link those in the show notes as well.
Perfect. So our website is 95media.co. Our handle on Instagram, which is where we're most active, I would say, is 90.5.media, all spelled out. But we have accounts on every platform. So if you like TikTok better over there, you like Pinterest better over there, everything's linked on our website. You can find all of our links over there as well as the show notes. We have a podcast where we publish weekly episodes. It's called Stop Scrolling, Start Scaling. So if marketing is your jam or you want to learn more about marketing, that's a really great resource. Just all the ways to scale through marketing, content, social media, etc. And if you want to join our email list, we send out a lot of resources via email as well. So you can find that on our website homepage. Just scroll to the bottom. You can join the email list as well as Master Your Marketing, the mini course, which I mentioned on that site as well. And that's 95media.co.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you.